All right. Welcome, everybody, to our coverage of the NCBB Season 38 National Championship Playoff Semifinal. This is between the number 2 UNAM Pumas Malditos, coached by Menoloco. Welcome, Dutch. Or Dorothy, rather. I'm sure Dutch will be here later. And the number 3 seed Texas AM Les Agricultures. That's the Bretonnian team, coached by Bazakistine. The underdog, of course. Bretonnians are difficult, but it has been very difficult for anybody to beat them throughout their tenure so far in the league, but UNAM is very similar. At this point, most of us know that they've not quite done well in championship games, but they continuously get there, so they've got to be doing something right at least. Texas AM making their first ever bowl, well, not bowl, but playoff appearance. It's only their third or fourth season. Can't recall at the top of my head. Looks like it's their fourth. Thanks, Wog, and thank you, Hyper, for double checking for me. So it is, it's now or never for this Bretonnian team. Not only will they be losing a bunch of players, they'll also... What do you mean my sound isn't working? Oh. Ah, well. I don't know why you would possibly have me muted, but... Alright, as I was saying, Bretonnians, not only is Baz going to lose several seniors from the team to graduation after the game, or after next game potentially, if they win, Bretonnians are changing to the Imperial Nobility roster in 2020 whenever we convert there. I'm under the impression that we'll play at least one more under the 2016 rule set. We'll see if Baz decides to keep the old farmer boys and peasants, or if he decides to do something different. I haven't tried out Nobility, and certainly one that's piqued my interest, but I don't know. It feels like they've got maybe a little bit worse overall. Trading up 2 blitzers for 2 weird throwers. You lose Dauntless on the blitzers, which I think is massive. You get an Ogre, which is interesting. And then the 4 Squires, or whatever the hell they're called. Yeomen? I guess they're Yeomen. They get Stand Firm to start, in addition to Wrestle, if I recall, which is pretty massive, but still. Losing 2 of your 4 of your best players for a downgrade is probably rough at the high end. So, a discussion for another day, perhaps. On the field, we've got the Bretonnians on offense first, UNAM Necro on defense, and they're led, of course, by just a terror in the night. Alfonso Trece Martinez, movement 10, agility 4, Blodge Werewolf. Dude can make plays, get anywhere he needs to. He's a handful, and his tag team buddy, I'm just gonna call him Chavez, his middle name. It's easier. Blodge Step plus Mighty Blow. Of course, Claw and Frenzy and Regen come built in, so pretty brutal stuff. Not a brutal hit there by Joni Gonzalez, the Flesh Golem, on a poor little peasant. But he is skilled in the art of dirty deeds, so we'll see if he can put a boot on somebody important later on. I think Alfonso's a senior, if memory serves. No. Is he a junior? Someone double check that for me. Like Wog pointed out in the chat. Oh, we got a foul here by a dirty zombie. And while he does break armor of the Yeoman, Jackson, he gets caught in the act. shock emote. Here, I got you one. There are 2 inducements at play. We've got a Bloodweiser Cake and a star player, Bo Galante? I'm guessing that's how you say that. Interesting player for sure. Where's old Bo? He's currently got the ball. Movement 8, Strength 3, Agility 4, AV 7, Dodge, Loner, Sidestep, Sprint, Sure Feet. So certainly a nice scoring option. Another fast player. 32 games for the Wolf. Yeah, that sounds like a junior. Pretty cheap too, 160k for movement 8, sidestep, sprint, sure feet. Good one-turn option if it comes down to that. Yeah, I can imagine Bo being very popular in NAF. I'm not too familiar with the format, and it sounds dumb as hell playing low TV Blood Bowl by choice, but if you're going to play something, choose something with starting skills like Bretonnians and use some inducements to get a cheap but effective player like Bo, I could see that being a very viable strat. We have had other bowl games completed so far. We can get a quick rundown of the action. We actually just had one completed not too long ago. Kenyon Green taking a hit from Chavez, but nothing too serious. Now, not Nomad. Menoloco has put both werewolves on the same side, so we'll see if Baz elects to go the other way while he has him up here. If he tries to go through, we'll see what he does. But he'll be without the services of PB. Not a very big loss, but numbers do matter in close games like this. Bretonnians obviously mass strength 3. Dauntless is very useful in games like this, but the 2 flesh golems, while not, the sexy players like the werewolves or a white even, although that's a young white, the flesh golems could be key. Their positioning and usage, both have block, both have guard, and mighty blow. One also has tackle. The strength 4 stand firm. Just a pain to deal with. We can talk about the other bowl games, Hyper. Like, I don't know exactly how yours went, but I imagine it was competitive to the end. In fact, I believe it was the first one played, and it looked like it was a 0-1 affair in favor of the Golden Gophorts in the Planters Goober Bowl. So, not the revenge game the Texas Tech Reptiles wanted, perhaps, but Durthu saying that he believes this is actually the national championship game, and it very well could be. It very well could be. 2 very good teams, ranked number 2 and number 3. Texas AM, 0 losses on the season, 7-3-0 if I recall. UNAM 8-1-1. I'm sure Pitt and Ottawa have their own thoughts on who could win the championship. Five blocks, Surf, turn 8. Oof. Yeah, Kazark's good. Melfi's good. Mendo's good. Best. Like, they're all very good coaches. Some of the teams are better than others. I know Ottawa's roster is not in the spot Nelfian would like it to be right now, but he's got it this far. Might as well see how much further you can take it. And Kazark with Dwarves, he's still, like, learning them for the most part. He hasn't had much experience with them, and he's still kicking our butts, so we can say a few nice things about Menno. Like, he has a really good regular season record, and he's got a great werewolf. Dorothy, if you think this team is stacked, you should have seen the Bretonnians before, like, week 8. I think late in the season, like the last two games, they lost a very good senior blitzer. I think they're called blitzers still, but he was strength 4 and all this cool stuff. And there's an injury, but not a serious one, although that does take a dirty player option away from the Bretonnians. Down 2 players already. UNAM missing 1 from getting ejected. So far, UNAM controlling the pace. Texas A&M going backwards. We'll see how Baz decides to play this. Dorothy, of course your opinion matters. But it only matters if you put money on the playoff teams. You know, put your money where your mouth is, right? I haven't seen many bets on the title odds, honestly, or even the Salty Tears Bowl between the two bigs. Like I thought people would jump on those interesting bets for sure, but I haven't seen too much action in the underground. Not that I go there very often or ever. Okay, Gark bet 200K. Well, it's about the threat. Like, you have to have the ability to foul something that's important. So if you happen to get a werewolf down on your side, you need to have the threat of fouling it to really influence the board a bit. That was one takeaway, perhaps, from the last time Mena was in a title game. He was facing California Lizards, and we induced the 2 dual star skinks, Dribble and Droll, or however you say their names. And one's a little stabby boy, and one's a dirty skink. And Werewolf got a little overzealous early, kind of got behind our lines after a frenzy block, and gave him a good boot early in the game and took him out for a half. Yeah, you know, I'll look up the season stats for Baz and how many times he's fouled, because Hyper's got a site that has good stuff like that. Season statistics, team hitting stats. Fouls. Let's sort by least. Okay, so Baz's non-AQ team, the Cincinnati Bear Rats, they threw 0 fouls. So you're not wrong about that. The Notre Dame Fighting Elvish only threw 3 all season. So, you know, you're not the only one who doesn't throw a lot. And further on the board, we've got Texas AM with a whopping 5 fouls on the season. So that's, what, half a foul per game? It's not bad, I guess. Oh, I had 7 somehow. Nice. Gark also had 7. Who else is in here? Dirthu says he's 3 fouls in 3 turns. Let's see how many he's got on the season. Wow, number 1 on the leaderboard, the Stephen F. Austin Lumbering Jacks with 35 fouls, leading the league. And then Hyper sitting at 21 with a skink. He does have 26 on the season, so I believe that. You know, Dorothy, you did lead, but it wasn't by a ton. You only led by 2 over UNAM, who happens to be playing in this game. We've only seen 1 foul from them so far. Yeah, that felt like a reroll. That felt like a minnow reroll, but didn't work out. Mr. Isaiah Spiller, who I believe is a senior, that's a hell of a player. Movement 8, Strength 4, Lodge Step, Sure Hands. Holding strong. And he's certainly arguably key to the team at this point, now that his other... I mean, the other two blitzes are good, but he lost a very good one as well. So we've got Jalen, Strength 4, Lodge Step, Tackle. Oh, there's our second foul. Nothing going. And the third blitzer, Aeneas, I'm guessing. Lodge Step, Pro Frenzy. And of course, young Caleb Chapman. No skills outside of the starting ones. Another potential field reversal here by the Bretonnians. Dorothy was going for 40 fouls in 10 games, but ran out of people to foul. Poor guy. Shouldn't have hit so hard, I guess. Looks like Sure Feet saving Bo from tripping there. Unfortunately, the one quibble you could have about these blitzers is that none of them have guard, which, I mean, they don't have strength access, but you like to have at least one with it. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. You could send these blitzers downfield if you wanted to. I'm not sure it does you much good sending them back towards your half of the field. It is turn 5, so you've got to start wiggling your way downfield sooner rather than later. And if Minnow was feeling spicy, he could probably take Alfonso and get a shot at the ball. He's got to be careful. Marking Chavez with Spiller. Solid play. Yeah, if you're feeling spicy, you can get Martinez on the ball, but it'll be one die block at current, and if you don't get the knockdown initially, you're gonna likely frenzy into a -2 die. And yeah, there's no recovery chance here, which is not ideal. It's also probably not ideal to leave both ghouls on the bench. I know they're practically useless. One's a rookie, one just has block, but having someone else who can pick up the ball would be convenient. Granted, maybe in the Bretonnian matchup, you feel like just having the horde of zombies and golems to hold up the peasants and crap. And then you just have the 2 werewolves, 2 whites do most of the work. This is a bold play here. Spending a lot of resources trying to take down Spiller, who's a good player, but not vital on this part of the drive. Pretty important stun there, though. That's a nice lead blocker that could have been part of your screen. Yeah, so far, Minnow's got 2 removals, a couple stuns. I mean, Necro hitting hard as per usual. As we were saying earlier, though, the other bowl games, there was the Goober Bowl, which we talked about. The Wonder Bra Wonder Bowl was literally just played before this game. Here's our 2-die block and follow-up. And there's a POW. A bit fortunate, but another stun. Jeez. Not a lot of available resources here for the Bretonnians. You don't really want a sideline cage with the two werewolves there, but I'm not sure you have many options. You probably have to send Bobby and Caleb down, screen off Bo. Maybe you can dodge Smith back, or move him off like this. Solid play. I was thinking you would blitz through the white at the bottom and get Jalen down here as another option, but this saves you from failing a dodge potentially. I think you just want to push Wendy down and free up Smith. We'll see what he decides to do. So now you've got your three pieces for your screen. So you can block the front, the bottom. There would be an opening in the back potentially, but you don't have a ton of choices right now. The good thing for Baz is that a lot of his key players do have dodge or blodge, and neither werewolf has tackle, thankfully, so he had to work really hard to get a... What? Oh, okay. I was like, where is he going with this? This is a good setup, though. You got sidestep on this guy, so he can't be served. You've got neither sidestep nor stand firm in this one, but he's blocked off by Bobby Brown, who does have stand firm. Very clutch dodge there by Jalen. I was going to say, no. Okay. I was going to say GFI, so at least you're in scoring range, but now you tag up two zombies with a strength 4 blodger. Immediately goes for the blitz with the white, who does have tackle, and another stun. Jesus. I was actually reading one of the, well, skimming a forum thread earlier discussing Necro and Blood Bowl 2020, and someone tried to say that you should be taking Mighty Blow on the Wraith, the new player that replaces the white. You should take that first instead of guard, and I was like, this dude just doesn't understand Blood Bowl. The Wraith is almost perfect out of the box. It's block, it's sidestep, you take guard, it's done. It doesn't need anything else. And your werewolf should be the one blitzing most of the time. Besides, oh, he did use the reroll. He just failed again. Okay. This is not the turn you want to score if you're Baz, but I'm not sure if you're going to be able to stall. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you blitz Sir Gregory off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. You do have sprint and you have sure feet. So you could technically make it with bow. You'd be throwing a fair amount of dice. I mean, you could try to stall this out, but you'd be giving Menno a shot to roll dice, and you'd probably have to roll a few dice yourself. So I guess it comes down to your risk tolerance and how well you think you can hold on defense for 2 turns if you did score here. So if you did want to try to stall, you would use probably Bobby to blitz the white, and if you wrestle him down, you wrestle him down. But if you don't, you can come around and tag Alfonso with tackle. You could come around with Caleb and tag the werewolf from the back. You could probably get Jalen over here on a dodge, and you can get Bo somewhere around column 4. I think I take the push here and tag both of them. Yep. Oh, you heard that noise? That was the shower starting. Usually, microphone on Discord's usually good about not picking up stuff like that, but the shower's literally right on the other side of the wall, so. Clutch dodge there by Jalen. Definitely go tag the wolf. You don't really care what these peasants do in the back. Can't get the reroll, which would have been nice to tie somebody else up, but Baz put himself in pretty good position here. Staying firm on the back screener, Bobby. You've got this white tied up by strength 4. This werewolf in a tackle zone with tackle. You've got these 2 players tied up a bit. If you block with the white and don't get him down, now your werewolf is stuck. If you use the werewolf, he doesn't have to stay in firm. He could go into a 1-die block, so Menno's going to have to make a choice here, and it may just come down to Alfonso making a play. Now, clutch knocked down there by Chavez. I think you don't stand firm. It doesn't matter a ton, but it may make your dodge with Aeneas next turn better if you had to do something. Pretty big knockout. Yep. Tag that. Probably dodge through. Well, attempt to dodge through. And then, because you use the rerolls, you can go for the front of the cage with another knockout. Christ, man. Big dodge there by young Benito. Where are you going to put him? Nowhere. Okay. Well, I guess it does block Jalen from potentially dodging through and making a play. You still could use Spiller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get a 2-die on Alfonso. Yep, looks like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All you need is a push, so you're banking on a 3+ dodge with dodge, a 2-die block for a push, and you walk in for a touchdown. Or do you simply try to 1-die block with Bo? He has Loner. It's probably close. I mean, this would be what? Skull fails, both down fails, so 66%. Yeah. I mean, Loner's scary, but the reroll doesn't really help you with Spiller because either you make the dodge or you don't, and then you have a 2-die block, so it's... I guess it's better with Spiller because that's what, like 83-ish%, and then you have the 2-die block where you're only going for a push. Look at me trying to do Blood Bowl math. It's adorable. Whoa. This is not what I was expecting. Jalen blitzes his way free of the zombie. Might make his way into the end zone for a pass, potentially? Or is he going to try to make a gap here? You wrestle him down, I guess. No? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice play, actually. I like that. He had dodge, he didn't have tackle. There was just enough of a gap. Alright, so not what we saw, but maybe that's what separates the teams who didn't make the playoffs from the teams that did. Very important one-turn defense here. There is a movement 10, agility 4, blodge wolf on the other side, so as much as you'd not like to lose any of your yeomen, putting all staying firm on the line is a must. He did get 2 of the 3 KOs back. He'll get another shot to get Mr. PV back as well. But this is a turn that, probably due to the stand firm, we're not going to get a 1 turn. He does have grab. I know I saw white with 1, but you don't have any juggernaut, unfortunately. So, instead, it's going to be very important that the yeomen stay, I guess, not removed. Is that the easiest way to put it? They need to stay on the field. Because he's going to get another shot at KO rolls, but if these guys are out, the second half defense is going to go very poorly, most likely, for Texas AM. Perfect D, okay. Actually helps a little bit. You get to move away from some of the Mighty Blow. And you get to move the yeoman back. That's even better. Now you can put the peasants who, while you don't want to lose any more numbers, you'd rather lose some damn peasants instead of your guard stand firm yeoman. Apparently I was paying to do some NBFL Red Zone broadcasting, but a little preoccupied here. I think there's, what, 2 NBFL games going? So far, oh, we put the yeoman back on the line. Interesting. Now, this part of the field did avoid a lot of the Mighty Blow. from the whites and the golems, but actually this white being out still could be huge if he stays out for the second half. Okay, he's not going to stand firm, so let's see where Menno pushes him. He's got to be careful because this could be a classic frenzy trap. Gets another stun. There's our third foul. Doesn't get caught this time and knocks out a Yeoman. Buddy Johnson, guard, staying firm, wrestle. He'll have a pretty good shot at coming back thanks to the Budweiser keg. Getting a vanity pass here. Could be intercepted. Well, maybe not. Ah, he's going for the ghoul. Okay. Doesn't throw a block with the zombie. Interesting. Alright, so Buddy, who just got knocked out, stays out. Although Peavy, the nondescript lineman, peasant-looking dude, he comes back. Sir Gregory, the other white, comes back. So we've got 14 for the Necro team. We've got 11 for the Bretonnians, with one potential comeback later. So I would say pretty good half overall for Texas A&M. They scrapped their way to a score. Only lost one player to an injury for the rest of the game. And it's just their dirty player who averaged a whole half a foul a game throughout the season. But this is going to be the toughest part of the game. Trying to stop the Necro from going down the field and removing half your team and grinding out a turn 8 touchdown. And then just getting the ball in overtime. So we'll see what the Bretonnians have to say about that. I think Texas A&M had statistically one of the top defenses as far as scores go. Go to Hyper's page again. Season stats, offensive stats. This is a defensive stat. There we go. Yep, those are touchdowns for. There we go. Alright, so touchdowns against. Charlotte doesn't count. They were in here for a game. So actually, Texas A&M had the best scoring defense in the nation. 6 scores against in 10 games. UConn was 6 against, but in 9 games. It's like Washington, Cal, Oregon, Anglork, Florida, Pitt, PSU, and Ball State all had 7 against in various numbers of games. So scoring on Texas A&M has been a chore for everybody they've faced this season, basically. So We'll see if UNAM can crack the code here. And the code apparently involves their fourth foul against a peasant, which stuns him, but leaves him on the field. That was indeed their fourth foul. Probably shouldn't have to remind anybody. Nope. Well, Baz already took care of it. But anybody who's watching at home may need to recall NCBB has a foul limit of 4 per game, unless it is, of course, a rivalry, which in case it's up to 6, because you just don't like that team for whatever reason and need to beat the crap out of them. Hey, look at Leon O'Neill dodging away like he's some agile creature. Peasants are people too. Allegedly. I'm not sure I believe that, but I'm gonna give him a little bit of credit for that last play. Blitz up top on the young blitzer Caleb. Nothing going for Chavez though. Does let Meadows switch the field if he wants, or reorganize in the middle, or go wherever he wants, really. Looks like we had a result final in an NBFL game between Atlatl and Icelandic. 2-0. Delphine's Lizards emerged victorious over Asti's Norse. Yeah, 14-6 touchdown for and against is pretty freaking good. It means you're controlling almost every game you've been in. This is one of those things that you don't see very often, is an incomplete screen or a cage where you don't have the backside of the ball carrier protected, but in this case it's not likely going to be an issue. Bretonnians not in a position to get around the back and take down Alfonso. Could be an important turn for Texas A&M though. You don't want to leave half your team in contact at the end, so you've got to make some choices here, how to get them free. You especially want to get away from this trio of players that all have Mighty Blow, and Sir Gregory as well, so you probably can get a blitz down here on these zombies, which doesn't do a whole lot, but could get 2 blocks here. Nope, we're going up top. Free up Caleb. The old strategic withdrawal. And now we're going to have to get some lucky dodging. Okay, it's a start. I mean, Leon last turn showed his dodging chops, so maybe you use him next, but you really want to get Green out of there, although he is agility busted. But 50-50 is 50-50, and sometimes you hit it, so sets up a 2-die block here on the dirty player. Ah. Oh, Leon. Poor Leon. He tried his best. Nope, that's not it. There it is. He was just a peasant after all. Looks like we're getting a mighty blow blitz up top on Caleb again, if I had to guess. Chavez going after young Caleb consistently, but not able to remove him from the field. We'll see where he ends his turn. Probably back in safety. I was going to say, there was a potential shot on the ball. If Bobby so inclined, he could have wrestled down the white, and he could have snuck around some players and got a shot on Martinez, but tougher to do now. What to do, what to do, what to do. You want to get Bobby away. Could set up a 2-die on the white, but then you either be in contact with the golem or in contact with the wolf with the follow. Start off with the 2-die. Blitzing the ghoul. And takes him out for good. Very nice by Mr. Spiller. And sets up a 2-die here. Yeah, that felt like a push. I think you have to follow, though. Get away from the flush golem. Potentially trick Chavez into some sort of frenzy trap. Granted, if you just move the golem, it may not matter. Alright, pretty good turn for the Bretonnians overall, though. I think you just leave these two peasants on the ground. They used to work in the dirt anyway, so you might as well just leave them there. Also, I should mention, we have not one, but two teams with that godforsaken checkerboard pattern at the bottom of their logos, and top, I suppose. I think it actually works out okay when they're both there. But I still hate it. I mean, technically, Baz isn't even a checkerboard. It's just like a bold lines with a little bit of trim, I guess. Interesting, Amon. Interesting. I suppose those, especially the dark navy blue ones from Menno, you kind of have trouble seeing the numbers down here. And to be fair, there's times where just various logos throughout, you know, fumble. Sometimes it's hard to see like a dark elf or certain players in the middle of a dark logo. Wait, you turn logos off? Or the numbers? Logos. But they're so like beautiful and fluffy and unique and stuff. Are you one of those guys who also turns off spectator sounds? Boring, guys. I don't know. I think turning off spectator sounds is a travesty. Thank you. You understand then. Interesting that he signed the blitz down here. Thought for sure he'd be going for the white. But yeah, you're playing a game. You've got people watching you. It's entertainment. You've got to enjoy the full experience. I remember one time we did a Skaven draft league, and everyone had custom icons with the certain colors for their team. And both Baz and I had a red, like red was our base color. I think I had like a bone for my accent. But either way, oh, good hit by Mr. Spiller, although Gregory's going to come back. But we both had like red rats, and it was just the damnedest thing trying to figure out who was who in the middle of the game. We'll see if Menno takes the bait here. There's a prime scoring opportunity to walk into the end zone, but that may not be the best course of action here. You could reverse field pretty easily, go back to the middle. Bobby Brown holding strong against that much bigger flesh golem. He's a trooper. Okay, there's a nice wrestle. Uh-oh. He's doing it. Could that early score come back to haunt UNAM? Or will they just beat up the Bretonnians enough to force the issue? Buddy Johnson doesn't come back despite the efforts of the keg, because nothing brings somebody back from unconsciousness like some alcohol. Thus, there's only 10 Bretonnians for offense. There are 11 necromantic players, I guess I would call them, on defense. If Baz can get an early removal here with like a simple KO on a zombie, even out the numbers, I think he's got a pretty good shot here with Bo. And you have to remember, the important thing is Bo can technically score from 11 squares out. It's not ideal, but movement 8, sprint, sure feet, dodge. Even if you have to score, turn 7, getting the score is pretty huge. This is a heck of a playoff semifinal, though. You've got a tie game, a quarter of the game left, essentially. Some valiant Bretonnians and some foul hordes of half undead, half patched together giant flesh creatures, some furry werewolves. I mean, this is it. Winner goes on to the national championship to face the winner of Kazark and Nelfine. Couldn't ask for much more. Another final live from the NBFL. Chicago wins 2-1 over Minnesota. Cheering fans, UNAM gets another reroll, which is pretty massive. They do have the fame advantage. But 6 rerolls. I'd almost argue that's better than the Blitz. Blitz could get you out of position and leave an opening. Extra reroll for a game that has overtime is crazy useful. Deep kick 2 doesn't help Bretonnians a ton. Neither do these pushes. Come on, removal. Make it even. Nope. Close. Not quite. Alright, looks like Baz will spread the field. Force Necro to make some decisions. And see where his opening is later. And one sneaky thing about the old Bretonnians that you're going to be so focused on Bo and his movement 8 and his sprint and his sure feet and all that fun stuff. The old blitzers have catch built in, so while you don't really want to rely on the agility 3 players, there's certainly some scoring options available if it calls for it. I think this is kind of a mistake with the flesh golems. I guess I didn't look at the initial setup, but I guess they were both on the outside wing, and now they're going to be stuck on peasants. Well, this one's stuck on a peasant, this one's on a blitzer, but I don't know. It feels like a huge waste to have Joni, your 58 SPP, block, guard, mighty blow, tackle, stand firm, flesh golem down on the sideline with the peasant. If you had them in the middle, you could force Baz to one side or the other for the werewolves. Now here, yeah, I mean, this is a potential toothpaste squeeze where you force him to try to go up the middle and then just go like pop out. But I don't know. And it looks like we'll get a blitz on. No, we're not going for Caleb this time. We're going for Kenyon Green. And we are out of movement, so he's going for the push. And he gets the knockdown after the GFI. Doesn't get a removal, though. Very, very big for Kenyon Green to stay on the field. Now you've got a ghoul at the bottom. You've got the flesh golem down there. Here's our blitz. Very clutch knockdown on Gregory. We're going to get a, looks like a movement north. This does look pretty solid for the old Bretonnians, but it's not going to take much for Menno to knock down basically the entire line of scrimmage area and shift half of his zombie legion slowly to the north. You know, they're just going to shuffle over there, I guess. If you're feeling bold, you could take Bobby Brown and put him in the middle, tie up some zombies, maybe dodge a peasant, get a 2-die with Dauntless on the flesh golem, but we'll see. Could set him back to tie up the werewolf and the white. Okay. Big knockdown and big stun. Not getting a blitz from the werewolf there. This isn't the blitz either, so who is blitzing this turn, I wonder? Big stun there. But that does free up Mr. Green, in theory. I'm not sure I really love this turn from Menno. But that's a nice injury on Mr. Peavy. Oh, that zombie was still free. Okay. For some reason he looked like he had moved. This... Did he... Oh, okay, he wanted to move him on a blitz, but pushback would have been fine. What do you... I mean, I know you got some extra, but... Okay. That was a very necessary placement, though. Now he's going to have to work to get through that gap, but... Turn 7, you got to get in scoring range, which is column 11 for Bo, but based on this position, you're going to have to get him probably all the way downfield. There's not a really great gap for him to go through. You might take your chances blitzing Hubris. Yeah, you could reverse field and play for OT, but considering that you're going to be down players and down rerolls, I'm not sure it's ideal. So yeah, I think this is your play. Jalen's technically not in scoring range, but he does have sidestep, so he may be able to do something there. Bo sneaks through this gap. He does have sidestep, so you can play close to the sidelines if you want to. I think it's going to come down to 2 3+ dodges here, and these blitzers really making this secure. Also, I would have liked to move Mr. Jackson to tag these 2 zombies before doing this, but I think you've got to go basically follow this blue checkerboard and go 1 2 3 and end up on column 6. You have sidestep. So even if you do get knocked down, you can sidestep forward and still be in scoring range on a dodge. Oh. Oh. I mean, I understand Sherfy, but I'm still terrified. Terrified because I don't have anyone else in scoring position and I want to move these 2 people, and Sherfy barely comes to the rescue. But yeah, I would have liked to moved. I mean, the zombies don't matter at this point, but I guess you don't even need to tie them up now. And you don't really want to tag anything with Mighty Blow. Maybe you just send them back to like column 10. You take Kenyon and put him like right here in front of the ghoul, and Jackson back 1, and you kind of prevent any deep pass to these players in case of a freak play. Huge dodge there by Spiller. If you can get the other one, it's going to be really tough. No pressure, Smith. Oh, couldn't quite do it. Well, comes down to Alfonso making a 1 die against Bo. Doesn't have tackle. Does have block. Bo only has dodge and sidestep. This could be it. UNAM could be heading home early, or they could force overtime, or they could force Texas A&M to roll some dice on turn 8. Our first playoff semifinals coming down to turn 16, as it should. I mean, I guess this is turn, what, 15 and a half? Oh, Alfonso has to burn the reroll. Gets the POW, though. And you sidestep. Right, yep. Makes the next dodge, makes the pickup. Now, where do you end up? Do you dare go into the end zone? And, okay, I was going to say, maybe going into the corner of the end zone's the play there. Chooses not to do it, though. So it's going to come down to Mr. Spiller. Needs a 3+ dodge with dodge. Needs a 2-die block and a POW. Knock the ball out. Either pick it up himself with sure hands or get Bo to do it. Huge double skull there by Chavez. I mean, not huge, like, as important, but... Well, it's coming down to this. Can Texas A&M make the play to win the playoff semifinal on turn 16? Can senior Isaiah Spiller become a hero and take down Alfonso and the mighty UNAM Pumas? Perhaps around earlier than we all expected. You've got 3 rerolls. You don't have to use them if you don't get this. You do have 1 player potentially coming back for overtime, but I don't think at this point you want to bank on winning that coin toss, because I don't think you would win on defense in overtime, and I'm not sure you can get a better shot than this. So Mr. Spiller can't get the knockdown. We're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, Malcor, we got you covered with the video broadcast. Buddy Johnson stays unconscious. Coin toss. Decision goes... I'm not sure who it goes for. It goes for Menno. Calls heads. It is heads. UNAM gets the ball. And that could be game blouses. You never want to say never, but with a 4-2 reroll advantage, 11-9, I believe, player advantage, lower armor, it's not looking great for Texas A&M. It's true, there are changes to 2020 rule set. You don't play the first score wins, you play the full 8 turns, which is nice. Guarantees that the Elven teams can't just get the ball, score in 2 turns, and be done with it. So, probably means having a bench is more important than ever if you're going into a tournament. Does the dream of the peasant farmers and noble knights end here, or can they find a way to turn the tables on these foul, mostly undead creatures? Twitch chat, is there any hope? Can we get a blitz? Can we get a double skull? Is there anything that can happen to save the Bretonnians? Snakes do happen, it's true. Quads. I mean, Blood Bowl is a weird game. Sometimes you think a game is in hand and your play, slips a little bit. Rock to the Wolf, that would be interesting. I think he has the fame advantage, so I'm not sure what the odds are, but Alfonso getting knocked out by Rock here would be pretty crazy. How many times have we snaked a touchdown, GFI? Collectively, too many to count. Too many to count. I almost managed to pull off a 1 turn with movement 7 sidestep frog last night against dwarfs in the NBFL, but failed the first dodge after getting to column 9. So what else is new? It's hard, man. Movement 7 1 turns. That's a lot of blocks and chains and positioning. It's tough. And speaking of tough, it just got tougher for ye old Bretonnians. That's a knockout. As expected, perhaps, of a peasant, but still makes it even tougher for the Bretonnians, who might just have to take a big swing here if they can sneak somebody through. But if Menno's smart, he would just cage right now and work his way downfield later. Bo getting stunned. The attempted frenzy trap didn't materialize. He's got sidestep, so maybe you forget or didn't mark it, and then you follow him up into a 1 die and you fail something, but 'twas not to be. I mean, overall, I think both coaches have played pretty well. Baz obviously has a tough task using Bretonnians, but he's done remarkably well with them and just came up a roll or two short in this game. If he got the POW there on the Wolf on turn 16, you know, Spiller's got sure hands. Bo was nearby on the ground, so could have potentially picked it up, but that's the problem with these Agility 3 based teams. You know, sometimes your best play is that 80% dodge or whatever, even with dodge, and it just doesn't materialize. Not everybody has a freak like Alfonso's movement 10, agility 4. Not that Alfonso is perfect. He failed that initial dodge on turn 16, but then got a POW. So technically Alfonso in scoring range now. Movement 10 would need 2 GFIs, but we'll see. We'll see. Is there any way to get to him? Not likely. He's kind of pinched on the sideline for now, though, so... Oh, you do see a way. 1, 2, 3... I assume we just use our frenzy guy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Where are you trying to go through? 2 die means you're coming in through the back, unless you mark somebody. You want to go through the white and the ghoul. Doesn't look like that's going to be our play. Spiller going for a blitz. Good knockout there by Spiller. Couldn't quite be the hero that Gotham needed at the end of the half, but this is a nice play by Mr. Brown, who's been a quiet MVP. He's just been staying put against flesh golems, werewolves, you name it. Now he's got a stand firm, wrestle, tackle, guard, mighty blow presence on the ball. Baz forced to use a reroll there, leaves him with 1. Does potentially lock out these 2 players though, and Menno might have put himself in a bit of a tough spot here. Does have a 2 die with the ghoul, but stand firm wrestle could ruin those plans. Nope. Huge POW by Malverde. And then you swing back around here. Or is he going to go for it? Is he going to try to win the game right now? He is. He fails. He fails again! What a turn of events, potentially. Alfonso Martinez choking after being the hero earlier to force overtime. And I think for Baz, you just got to go for the pickup here. He gets it. Huge play by Jalen. Guard did call it. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of great spots to go to. You are strength 4 blodge. That's a big knockdown, though. You can get Bo over here, force a 2-die on the zombie, but I'm still worried about the white coming, or the golem coming over, so Bo sees that. I think you want a GFI. You have sure feet. Yep. Okay. Boy, this game has potentially turned quickly. And I think you can't throw that block on the wolf. Tempting, though, with wrestle. Very tempting. But if you sidestep, you could free him up to get a dodge through. So yeah, wisely leaves him be. This, man, this turned quickly. You've got 2 blitzers near midfield who have catch. You've got Bo down here in your side of the field who's fast, sprint, sure feet. Doesn't have catch, unfortunately, but... Oh, knockout. I'd be tempted to use the Apo on that. I'm not sure it's vital, but I think you need all the resources at this point, but elects not to do so. He's going to blitz through Bo, who does have sidestep. Oh, another knockout. Gets a pincer around Mr. Jalen. And this just got a little bit tougher. But I think our play is going to be to get the ball to Mr. Spiller. I don't know if you want a 1-die or try to dodge Smith to nullify the zombie, get your 2-die on the ghoul. And then you're going to have to make some dodges and probably a throw. But at this point, I think that's the only thing you can do. Okay, gets a push. That's all you needed, really. And you follow, and then you desperately need this 4-3 to work. There's a dodge. There's our other dodge. Needs 1 GFI to hand off. Uses catch. The old built-in rerolls. Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you need to GFI to force some GFIs. Oh my god. Can you get Mr. Smith in position to tag somebody? Can you get in front of the wolf? Because you can't block the wolf. I think you just try to dodge through, or you just pray. Can this be? Oh my god. I don't even know how to describe this. This might be the most shocking turn of events in the history of the NCBB, which is saying something. Can Mr. Chavez be the hero that Gotham needs? Valverde's trying again. Sets up the 1-die potentially, but Chavez has to get a POW on the first block. But he fails the GFI. He gets a both down. It's going to come down to a 3+ with dodge. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is this about to happen? Did we just witness the biggest, like, reversal of fortunes? It's not even fortune, it's just a reversal of everything. Getting a blitz here. Interesting. But you have a reroll, and you're already using a free reroll from dodge, so you're just trying to get players in position in case you need them. 2, 3, 4. Get Bobby over here to screen off anyone else. And here's our ball game, potentially. Mr. Spiller makes the dodge, scores the touchdown. Texas A&M has pulled the shocker of the century. Literally from the jaws of defeat to the championship in a matter of moments. Wow. Wow. I could not type the shock emote enough to describe what just happened. Jesus Christ, that was a playoff semifinal. We can only pray that we're lucky enough to have another exciting semifinal and an equally exciting championship game. Because somebody is facing these Texas A&M Les Agricultures in the title game sometime in the future. Wow. That was quite the contest. That was unbelievable. And Gar called it. He sure as hell called it. Wow. That, oh my goodness. Post-game chat between the coaches. Get our MVP choices. And we're going to get our final score. And apparently some violins. That was amazing.
Yeah, I think Menno snatched defeat from the jaws of victory there.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that it was just an unlikely dice result, but you didn't need to score per se. You could have gone back to the middle of the field and played for another couple turns. You had everything going for you, but
didn't need to roll.
Didn't need to roll. Decided to roll and got unlucky. Damn.
Absolutely. That was a great game.
Yeah, that was a pleasure, and that's going on YouTube as soon as I can get it on there. But
that's why you play it, right?
Yes,
you
sir.
Never know.
Yes, sir. And I mean, we all assume Kazar's just going to beat playoff Nelfine, but you never know in the other semifinal.
Nelf just put a smackdown on Asti, so
it's true.
He's hot.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I guess I won't be here, unfortunately, but others will be. So, thank you everybody who is watching now and in the future. This was a hell of a game, and we can only pray to be so lucky that the others are as well. So, take care.
Yeah, thanks, X.